name is Mary, and I also go by the Healing Cave Lady. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. Oh my gosh, I'm doing live right now. I rarely do live videos, but I thought I'd come on and do a live video because I wanted to update you guys on a whole bunch of stuff. And I know if I just film it, it might sit on the docket for a while to get edited because that's just my life. But first and foremost, I want to do an update because I told you guys I was doing a ProLon fast, which is a 5-day fasting mimicking diet where you are basically mimicking a water diet for 5 days. And I've posted all of the before and afters on Instagram, but it was amazing. It was totally doable. It was tough. It was 5 days. And the 5th day, I think, is under 600 calories. But it was a great gut reset, great. Also, kind of like a elimination diet. It was really awesome. Day 4 in the evening, I did something kind of stupid. I figured, oh, I can take a steam and just relax in the steam room. And I went to stand up to take my cold shower, and I got really nauseous, not nauseous, dizzy. And I didn't cue in to my body telling me to sit down. So I fainted in the shower day 4 and got real beat up. Didn't break anything, but I might have broken my nose a little bit. Actually, it looked like I went through the wash machine. I had a big goose egg forehead, gashes everywhere. I have, a big old gash in my knee, bruises. But thank God nothing bad happened. I woke up right away as my face was slamming into the marble, and I totally survived. I lived through that one. But if you're ever doing a long fast, don't do anything in super high temperatures because it lowers your heart rate, and you might stand up and faint. And I did that in the shower, so that was real stupid. But that was day 4, the end of day 4 evening of a 5-day fast. So that was not smart. No bueno. But other than that, I lost 9 pounds doing the fast. I felt so good. I still feel good, and that was, a couple weeks ago. And it was great. I would do it again. I'd probably do it like every couple months, and I'll probably run fasts on my Instagram channel every couple months because I feel it's highly beneficial. It's super healing. Like I said, it gives your body a digestive break. You lose weight. It's just a good way to heal and reset your body. So especially before summer, okay? So it's nice. And like I said, I lost 9 pounds during the fast. I only gained 1 back over the weeks. So, you lose a little water weight, but your body is legit burning fat the whole time. So it's really good. I have my before and after pictures on my Instagram. If you don't follow me, it's Healing Cave Lady. But I wanted to give you guys an update on that first, and then talk about some really serious health stuff. I don't know if you guys know, if you followed me a long time, I haven't fully discussed all of the health issues that I've gone through in my life, but I kind of wanted to start at the beginning and try to do like a Cliff's Notes version of what has happened to me in life with health and why I do what I do. You've probably watched the video about why I got into nutrition, and it was because of my son. He was born a C-section. He ended up having pandas, which the doctors thought was autism, and it was really pandas, which put him on the ASD spectrum, pediatric neurological disorder associated with strep. So he had so much strep in his body that his neurotransmitters couldn't fire, couldn't talk. He didn't know where he was in time and space. I healed him with a GAPS diet. I started studying nutrition nonstop for 5 years. Well, it's been longer than that, but that was the start of everything. So before I got pregnant with children, I think it was a year after I got married, me and my husband went to Costa Rica. We went to Costa Rica, and we stayed in all these different places in Costa Rica. And in one particular spot, we stayed at this place, and there was a big gap underneath the door. And in the middle of the night, all these mosquitoes came in and attacked. My husband got bit once. I got bit like 50-something times all over my legs. I woke up. I was vomiting everywhere. My legs were swollen like elephants. It was like I had the flu for 3 days. And not only that, by the time I came back, my legs were purple. I had to go on antibiotics and steroids because they thought I had blood poisoning. And, after that healed, thank you. After that healed, I thought nothing of it. So that all happened. And then we moved into a house, And we found out about 7 years into living in this home that none of the windows on the south-facing wall were wrapped, and water was leaking in every single time it rains. Well, I live in Oregon, and we had toxic mold in our house for 10 years while we lived there. And it didn't get fixed until about 2 years before we moved out, but they had to take out the whole entire quarter of, they had to take out the whole entire quarter of our home, and we had mold that whole time. And I had no idea that if you have mold in your home, that can haunt you for a very long time. So those two things combined, by the time, a couple of years into it, I started to get very, very, very sick. I ended up coming down, and the doctors couldn't figure it out right away. I ended up coming down with mono and shingles, and it was the sickest time I'd ever been in my life. It lasted almost 4 months. Every morning I woke up, it was like a brand new flu that wouldn't go away. I had horrific rashes all over my face that wouldn't go away. I would wear a hood everywhere. I gained 25 pounds. I was eating almost nothing, and I gained 25 pounds within this 4-month period of time. Finally, I know I'm live, it's crazy. So finally, I was seeing a naturopath, and he had gotten this new testing equipment. It was called bioenergetic testing. And they found out that I also had Lyme disease. And they were just kind of like brushed it under the rug, and they said, a lot of people have Lyme disease, and it's not usually cause of a problem. It's not, could I see the mold? So what I saw water dripping out of the window seal in my home. I heard a dripping sound. And when I heard the dripping, I opened up the blinds, and I saw the water was just dripping right through the paint. And they didn't see the mold, so I never saw the mold. They didn't see the mold until they ripped open the walls on the back side of the house, and the mold was completely covered. So it was going into the air system. So the mold was everywhere. They had to take everything out. They had to take everything out. Replace everything, the studs, everything. So we were breathing it in for like 6+ years, if not more than that, and we didn't know. So fast forward, I'm super sick, mono, shingles. Find out I have Lyme disease, but it was kind of brushed off like it wasn't a big deal, that so many people have Lyme disease. Anybody that's ever been camping can have Lyme disease. I got it from the mosquitoes, and a lot of people say you can't get Lyme from mosquitoes. You can get Lyme from mosquitoes, fleas, horseflies, anything that bites an infected animal can give you Lyme disease. And Dr. Klinghardt talks about that. He's a world famous Lyme doctor, and he talks all about how you can get it from fleas, you can get it from head lice, you can get it from so many things. If something bites me and then bites you, you can get Lyme disease. You can spread it also in vitro, like you can pass it on to your kids. They're called sporocytes, I believe. So I've had that. So all that was going on. Lyme disease and mold go hand in hand. And when you have Lyme disease, mold, and Epstein-Barr, which is also a thing that I have, you can have major health problems. So that was where I started to find out. I'll talk all about that in a little bit. That's where I started to find out about the Lyme, the mold, all that stuff. So that being said, everything I had learned in nutrition was, it doesn't matter what disease you have. It doesn't matter what's going on in your body. You take care of your gut, you support digestion, and you facilitate lymphatic drainage, heat and cold therapy, and you go on with your life. Because if your gut is in good standing and you're constantly detoxing and moving toxins out as fast as they're coming in, you're going to be a healthy human. Okay? So, and I learned this just by experimenting on myself. And the more research I did, so much sauna, biomat, steam, hot heat thins out your lymphatic fluid. Your lymphatic fluid is what pulls your toxins out of your body. Lymphatic fluid is very thick, and when it gets hot, it thins out, and then you can pass those toxins out, not only through your skin, but it actually pushes them out through your pee as well. So even if you don't sweat a whole lot, you want to sweat a whole lot, even if you don't sweat a whole lot when you're exposed to heat for a long period of time, what happens is your body, the lymphatic fluid moves so that you can pee out toxins. Not only that, you produce heat shock proteins. If you can exercise in heat, That was my magic lifesaver. Once I found hot yoga and started doing that at Core Power, that was my life changer, because Lyme gets killed by heat for long periods of time. So if you're in a room for 60 minutes in hot, 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 it basically not only kills and damages Lyme, but thins out that lymphatic fluid so that you can push the toxins out of the body. So I always tell people, aside from all supplements and aside from anything you possibly can do, you work on lymphatic drainage, you work on hydration and heat shock therapy, whether you're doing hot yoga. The more movement that you can do while there's heat, the better. But if you can just sit in a sauna and stretch, if you can sit in a steam room and stretch safely without slipping, of course, those kinds of things are super, super important for your body. So sweating 5 days a week, if not more. So that being said, have all the stuff going on. I found out about everything, found out about all that stuff, you know, the molds, the Lyme, Epstein-Barr virus, shingles, mono. I had everything going on. I was like dying. And I was just like, you know, I have to do everything that I'm doing for my son, for myself. And the more I learned, the more I was like, you know what, sugar is not going to happen anymore. You know, it wasn't a gluten-free diet. It was a grain-free, starch-free. It had to be keto. And the longer I did keto, a lot of times I do keto, I do it for like 3 months at a time, and then I take a month break, 3 months at a time. Every time I took a break, I flared up, I gained a ton of weight, I became sick again, and I realized I can't take breaks from keto anymore. I can't take breaks from the ketogenic diet. Sugar, glucose, it really feeds all inflammation in the body. It doesn't matter what it is, but if it's mold, if it's Lyme, if it's Epstein-Barr, all those things, sugar feeds it, glucose feeds it. And too much fructose can be converted into sugar as well, and fat. So you have to be really careful about that. And I've done a keto for healing video. I put so many of my clients on a healthy keto diet. I'm not talking eating bacon and meat all day long. It's very different. So please watch that keto for healing diet if you think I'm some weird bacon eating keto. I like barely even touch pork. And right now I'm not even eating meat at all. So that being said, I have been on just a real quest for good health, optimal health. Like, I want to heal, and like, I want to be that person that has Lyme disease that's like, oh my gosh, who cares? It's not a big deal, you know? But I also want to be able to help people that have these diseases, that have mold, that have Lyme, that have Epstein-Barr, that have, you know, all the things that I deal with, and be like, do this, it works, you know? And there's so much that you can do. Whether you have Lyme or not, if you suspect Lyme, if you suspect mold, the coolest things is that you can heal the same way. You can heal the same way. So, and yeah, for any kind of herpes virus, keeping sugar out of your diet is huge. So shingles is a herpes virus. So is cold sores, so is Epstein-Barr. Epstein-Barr, I believe it's called herpes 6. I'm not exactly sure. It's a herpes virus. They're all herpes viruses, and they also go along with Lyme disease. So it doesn't mean you have Lyme disease if you have herpes viruses, by the way. But not eating sugar, doing a very healthy ketogenic diet, and supporting your digestion are all huge for any type of herpes virus. So had all that stuff going on. So what has been going on recently? I have been all over fasting. Fasting is huge. Regenerates new cells. Your body eats up dying cells that could be causing cancer or causing problems. That's why I've been so into fasting. That ProLon thing wasn't just some gimmicky thing like, oh, I'm doing this trying to make money. No, it's like, I want to be doing ProLon and fasting, at least 3 to 5 day fasts every month, if possible. So fasting is huge. Intermittent fasting. If you've watched my roadmap to health video, you know how I feel about fasting. You know how I feel about water intake and all those things. So, love to see a video of diets that are good and healthy. I actually have, if you guys ever go to my website and click the keto tab, I have meal plans, I have shopping lists, and then on my Instagram, I have videos on how to make them all in my highlights. So I show, if you follow me on Instagram, I show you guys what I eat all the time, my easy keto meals, healthy meals. I have shopping lists on my website for how to make all of them. I always talk about the products that I use and how I cook ahead and things like that. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, I'm on Instagram 24/7. I'm on Instagram all day, every day. You see how I eat, how I live, what's going on in my life. Nutritionally, I'm a supplement queen. I am the human guinea pig for supplements. I find the best supplements in the world. Like, I'm not even kidding you. I sell them on my website. I originally always just had people pick things up from Amazon, because for a lot of people that's easy, but I realized that I was like losing so much money testing supplements. I was like, if I could recoup some of this money, I could test them even further. So, and then there's a lot of supplements that aren't sold on Amazon, or they're outrageously priced. Like, I sell a glutathione, a liposomal glutathione, that if you try to get online, it's $110, and it's way cheaper for me. Same with my pure paleo shakes that I drink from Designs for Health, much cheaper through me than on Amazon. So, and I have free shipping and no taxes. It's amazing. So you can see that at healingcavelady.com anytime. For fasting, it really depends on the person. If you're hypoglycemic, you have to be really careful about fasting. But I always tell people to start by just skipping dinner. Skip dinner a couple times a week. Just practice like the intermittent fasting, and then build up to a full day, and then build up to a few days. The most important thing is to feel like you got that. It's like, instead of setting yourself up for failure, you've never fasted in your life and you're like, I'm going to do a 3-day fast. Probably going to fail, That being said, I have led fasts on Instagram for 3 days for people who have only ever skipped dinner, and they all made it through. And I made them all pay $19, because I feel like if you put money into it, you're a little bit more accountable. And since we were all doing it together, everybody succeeded. They couldn't believe they made it through it. And not only that, they were like, I had one person lose 24 pounds in 3 days. How is that even possible? And they kept it off. 24 pounds. I had another person lose 18 pounds. I had another person lose 7 pounds, and that person was already skinny to begin with. But most of it is like inflammation, the digestive break, and then your body is just eating up old fat cells, because that's what it kind of has to live off of. But the liquid fasts that I run actually contain calories, so you don't get queasy and sick, and usually the last day will end on water, tea, and coffee. So that being said, I'm going to move on a little bit. I'll give you an update on my company, because I told you guys I started a CBD company. I was looking, Oregon has the most amazing hemp processors and amazing organic hemp in the United States. If you ever look at zones in the United States where glyphosate is used, all of the zones are red, meaning it's heavily used in every state except for Oregon, part of Washington, and a little bit of Idaho. And glyphosate just really is barely used here. Oregon has most of the most organic seed farms and organic farms in the whole entire United States. The Willamette Valley, no glyphosate, all organic farms. That means there's no cross-contamination from GMO, and there's less likely to have runoff if you have an organic or pesticide-free hemp farm. We get all of our hemp from Medford for my full spectrum line of CBD, and we make it is crazy, this is new. It is a whole plant CBD emulsion. My hemp guys are the only people in the United States doing this right now. So they're taking the whole hemp plant and they're doing a proprietary process with glycerin to extract everything out of the hemp. This isn't a full spectrum oil. Full spectrum oil is where they isolate everything out and then they try to put it back together and they add MCT oil or hemp oil to it to like reconstitute it. This is a whole hemp plant where you get all the benefits of the whole entire plant, and it's still no THC. And it's the most phenomenal thing for pain, for healing. CBD has changed my life. Not only with anxiety, but being able to sleep at night, being calmer, my gut inflammation, pain of any kind. You don't realize how much pain you have in your body until you're tossing and turning all night. And the reason you're tossing and turning is because you're in pain, but you're so used to it that you just live with it. You don't realize it's pain, and that's why you sleep so unsettled. I started using my full spectrum CBD, the whole plant one. This is brand new, like I told you guys. It's water soluble, so it dissolves in any liquid, and you can drink it, and it works in your body in minutes. And almost all other CBDs are in an oil suspension. They have to be metabolized by the body. This one doesn't have to be metabolized by the body. It's almost considered like a liposomal. So you put it in water. It can work at more of a cellular level. Are you going to post the website? Yes. So I'll put that in the link below. But if you go to healingcavelady.com, I have the CBD Dissolve tab. That's my line of CBD. It's called CBD Dissolve. Or you can go to CBD SOLV. It's like a little play on dissolve, but CBDSOLV.com. You can see I even have the third-party testing there for the CBDs. But this whole plant one is new. I've had it for just a couple months, and it's selling like wildfire, and people are reordering 3 and 4 bottles of it at a time. I'm getting testimonials that people who have rheumatoid arthritis, all kinds of pain, it's taking care of their pain. They wake up in the morning, they can move, they can exercise when they couldn't exercise before. And they had, like me, I've tested over $1,500 in CBD products. And I was so lucky to meet these hemp makers. It says right here, it's powered by Danodan. That's the name of the company that makes this for me. And the coolest thing about this is the studies show that if you use CBD for long periods of time, you grow a tolerance to it. So what they do for me is they use a new CBD species of plant every single time they make me a new batch. So they rotate the plants so that you don't gain that tolerance to the CBD, which is amazing. So no other company does that. Everybody uses the same stuff over and over again, and a lot of them are very genetically, not modified, but strain specific. So they mix up the hemp plants. My next hemp plant is called Space Candy. It's all from Medford, no pesticides, no herbicides, no toxins. It's third-party tested to make sure there is no residuals of anything left over. It's an amazing farm. We get the barrels of it. I was just at the factory the other day, and it is so amazing. They're literally the only people in the United States doing this, and they just happen to be in Oregon. And the other cool thing they do for me is they make my product stronger, just for all of you guys, and I'm allowed to sell at the same price as their less strong product. So you could always go to their website and buy it, and it's gonna be similar. It's not gonna be the same rotation, but mine's gonna be stronger at the same price as their weaker one. So they totally hooked us up by doing that. But yeah, they let me go in. I have my own bottles, my own label. It's so fun, but I'm obsessed with this. Like, I die for this. This bottle is $62. And it has, depending on how much you take, it has what is called 30 servings, but for a lot of people it'd be more like 90. I always start people on a couple drops of it. I can take, on average, I take a half a dropper full before I go to bed, so that would be 60 servings for me. But it's life-changing. It's life-changing. You want to smoke it, yeah. If you smoke hemp, you just get a headache probably, but anyways, I wanted to let you guys know what just happened to me. So I do bioenergetic in my nutrition practice. I have been researching the whole root canal thing for a long time because I would scan myself and it would tell me that I had teeth that were infected, that were causing whole body health issues. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the Root Cause documentary. Root Cause documentary is all about, thank you. Root Cause documentary is all about teeth that are infected that are causing root cause problems in your health. Because any teeth that you have that are infected, not only are they on a meridian with an organ in your body, so your brain actually transmits information through your teeth, I know it sounds weird, and then through your spine, and it talks to the different organs. So if an organ needs, vitamin-rich blood that has vitamin C in it, I don't know, I'm just making up something. That information goes from the brain, teeth, spine. It's just an electrical system, and that's how it works. If you have an infected root canal, your brain has a hard time transmitting information to the organ. And so I had 4 root canals. I actually thought I had 3. I had 4 root canals. I've always had really poor teeth health. I had a cavity in every teeth. I had an amalgam in 6 teeth, and just horrible, horrible. And it's like I brush all the time. It doesn't matter. It's a bacterial thing, you guys. So much less on what you eat, except sugar does rot your teeth from the inside out. But that being said, I did a lot of research. I watched the Root Cause documentary. I was always scanning myself, and it would say, these teeth are a problem. And I bit the bullet. I was like, you know what? The more I've researched, Lyme and mold will actually hide in infected teeth. When you have a root canal, a root canal is a dead tooth. because the root is dead. So they try to clean it out and they leave like the ligament in there. And what happens is it just creates an infection because your body's just trying to get rid of it. So it allows bacteria to go in and deteriorate it. One of my teeth actually turned blue. And my dentist was like, oh, that's totally fine. That's normal. It's not normal to have something dying in your mouth or dead. If you had an appendix rupture, would they leave it in there? They go, it's dead. We're just going to leave it there. No, they wouldn't. So a lot of dentists have turned from doing root canals and they say, you know what, we need to extract the tooth and then do a safe implant down the road. So I did a lot of research on that. I kept realizing these teeth were a problem. The bacteria drains into your, that is so crazy. I got a root canal. I had major teeth issues with every single baby that I had too. So I did all this research and I was like, these root canals have to come out. And they showed up infected on every single one of my tests. And then I went to a biological dentist. His name is Dr. Blodgett in Portland. He's actually known all over the United States, and I didn't even know that. He lives in Portland. So I went to him and I talked to him, and he went and he did a 3D scan of my mouth, and he could see every infection. You guys, I had no pain from these teeth, and so many people, they don't have pain, and you can still have a major infection. It actually drains into you're gonna die, it drains into your brain. And then it affects organs all over your body. So my lower root canal, the dentist that did that one jammed a mercury filling down inside of it. It was disgusting. It was so loaded. The mercury was touching my skin every single day. When they did that scan, they were like, this infection down here, he goes, we can't believe you can't feel pain in this. It is ginormous. Like, you could see the infection on the scan. It was crazy. And he sent it off to a lab. Oh my gosh, you guys, when I got my root canals and 2 crowns, I was on payment plans for them. Talk about waste of money. I was on payment plans because they're never covered by insurance. They're always like partially covered, and the crowns are not covered at all. So I was on payment plans for that. So I was not happy about that. So what happened? Mary went and had all her root canals and all of her silver fillings taken out. All of them. You guys want to see what this looks like? It's crazy. Don't be shocked, okay? They are out of my mouth. And I have to wait 4 to 6 months to get implants. Ready? Here's the side. How do you like that? It's really sexy, I'll tell you. And then I have 2 over here. 1, 2. Is that not crazy? Is that not, are your brains officially blown? So Mary ripped out her teeth. I'm just that serious about health. If you have an infection in your body every single day and you're creating all of these white blood cells to just go nuts, and it's trapped in your body and it can't get out, how are you gonna have good health ever, you know? So I just said, I want them out. I want all the amalgams out. He took out, I know, you guys don't even understand. I didn't know how close, I mean, these are close to the front. These ones right here. But there are people that have root canals on their front teeth. I would be front toothless, you know? And there are little products that you can get and wear, and they look like teeth, like little flippers. So there are things you can do to hide those teeth until you're waiting for the implant. So you're not totally SOL. You definitely can have little pieces made. So, and they're making me a piece because they don't want the teeth to shift. So, but I literally got this done 10 days ago, 10 days. I had all these teeth ripped out in one visit. And I got knocked out for it because I was like, you know what? I've had so much trauma at the dentist my whole entire life. I've had every single tooth except for like the front ones filled. And when I was a kid, I was immune to Novocaine, and the dentist didn't know it. So I felt every drill. So it's been traumatic for me. I was like, for me to be awake, to have 4 teeth pulled out and have every amalgam removed and refilled and have 2 teeth reconstructed, no, I'm gonna be knocked out. And I have to tell you guys, if you live near Portland, even if you're in California and you ever decide to have that kind of dental work done, go to Dr. Blodgett. It was 5-star service. They don't even walk you to the back to sit in a dental chair until they've talked about everything they're gonna do. They go over everything. Right when I get in the dental chair is when I start sweating. I mean, I literally get flashbacks, PTSD. I start shaking. Like, him and the anesthesiologist, both, they talked to me in a normal room with chairs, talked about what they were gonna do. And then right when I got in that dental chair, the anesthesiologist, who was phenomenal, gave me my IV, like he, you know, got me with the needle in the arm, barely felt it. He immediately gave me medicine to calm me down, to calm the anxiety, relax me, and then I went to sleep. And they did all the other stuff. And when I woke up, it wasn't abrupt. They don't use the gas. They only use the IV anesthesiology where you're completely out. And so they don't use the gas. The gas is what makes you very groggy and it has a hard time leaving your system. The IV, it literally is out of your system right when it's turned off. So I woke up immediately. And I immediately felt pain when I woke up, and I just let the dentist know. I said, these top ones hurt right when I woke up. And he goes, no problem. He numbed them, no problem. Immediately numb, so it was totally fine. I was able to get up, go home. 2 days later, I took a vacation because I was like, I just want to be able to relax and not do the normal grind. I don't want to get kids ready for school. So I took my kids out of school for a week, and we went to Palm Springs, and we met my mother-in-law met us there, so her and my husband can kind of take care of the kids, and I was able to just relax and heal in the sun. So that was basically 10 days ago, and I was in Palm Springs for 5 days, and it's been a couple days since then because it's Tuesday. I go home Friday. So so that was amazing. Sun is amazing for healing. I took my Juve light because my dentist told me red light therapy, like if I didn't have one, he was gonna loan me one. So I took my Juve with me, which was perfect for travel, which is that red light thing I did a review on, but that healed like the swelling. Like I wouldn't even have believed that red light therapy was that powerful. And literally my dentist was like, you have to do red light. It communicates right through to the cells. I send everybody home with a red light after they have any kind of dental surgery. He also did something called LPRF, where they draw your own blood, they spin it in a machine, and then they take, it's almost like a collagen goo from your own blood, and they shove it in all of the holes that they pulled the tooth out, and they do grafting with it. So they just shove it in there, they do the stitches, and it fills the hole so that you can't get a cavitation, you don't end up with any infections, and you don't have to go on antibiotics. So there's no antibiotics with any of this. I don't have to kill all the bacteria in my gut, which is huge for me because I would cry if I have to go on antibiotics. I literally have not been on antibiotics in 10 years. And I don't plan on going on them for any reason. So antibiotics for me are definitely like a life or death thing. It has to be like, you're gonna die. Okay, I'll take the antibiotics. It's not for anything to be taken lightly. So my 5-year-old has never been on antibiotics. So all ear infections, we use garlic ear oil. We do everything natural, everything holistic. And of course, if someone has to go on them for a life or death reason, yes, they're gonna go on them. But anyway, so yeah, so I had all my root canals pulled out. And I immediately went to Palm Springs, and it was 100 degrees every day. And anytime I'm in high heat, high temperatures, I either break out in shingles or I get Lyme rashes. And they're always all over my face or all over the areas that are in the sun. And right after I had my surgery, I did not get the shingles rash. I did not get the Lyme rash. I did get a rash all over this arm because this is the arm that they did the LPRF. They did the blood draw, and they used this tape, and I was allergic to the glue in the tape. And you can see exactly where the tape was, and I have a rash where their tape was, which is super annoying. I would have totally tried to scrub off all that stuff if I knew it was going to do that. But everywhere else, I was good. I didn't get my Lyme rash. I didn't get my shingles. And I was in 100 degrees every day. I always break out in a rash. Never fail. If I go to Mexico, I'm going to have a rash all over my face, all over my body. If I go in the sun, because I have so much bacteria in my body, something's going to die. And I feel like because those infections were gone, it was the first time that I didn't get the rash. So praise the Lord. I just saw a question a second ago and it went away. You might want to ask it again. Something about UTI. Someone asked a question about UTIs. I don't get them. Anyways, I had to decline a phone call. But yeah, so that was all that journey. And Lyme, mold, teeth getting ripped out of my mouth, new CBD, fasting. I just wanted to come on here and talk to you guys live about that because I think I get like to do an update. Doctors always prescribe antibiotics for UTI, what would I use to heal instead? Probably would use like oil of oregano, cranberry. I would put probiotics in the vagina. Shingles do hurt horrendously. I would put probiotics up into the vagina. I would do Epsom salt baths with apple cider vinegar. I would look up every natural remedy and do that until it was exhaustive. And if it didn't go away after that, then I would take the antibiotics. So I wouldn't let it get bad in the first place. I'm very in tune with my body. So if I feel something coming on, then I get on top of those things immediately. I take natural antibacterial wellness formula. There's a company called Biocidin that makes a product called Biocidin LSF, and that pretty much can kill anything in the body. It's liposomal. You put it under your tongue. There's a difference between a cavitation, which is different than a cavity. A cavitation is when you have a tooth pulled and it closes up, but there is a infection hiding. So people will have their root canals removed, and then they'll have the root canals removed, and then not root canals. They'll have their wisdom teeth removed, and then the skin will grow over an infection. That's called a cavitation. And they're just as bad as having an infected root canal. A cavity is actually in your tooth that you get filled. So cavitation is inside the jaw, and it's just as bad as having an infected root canal because you have an infection that's trapped. And they use ozone to heal that. That's what Dr. Blodgett used in my mouth. They inject ozone and use ozone gas, I think, to get in there and kill all the bacteria. So sometimes they have to just open it up, put the ozone in, get everything killed, and then they'll probably do the LPRF where they draw your blood and then put the stuff in there to make everything heal. So the LPRF makes the bone. So if you have wisdom teeth removed, should I go in about that? It's always a good idea if you have your wisdom teeth removed to go to a biological dentist and make sure there's no infection. And they can see that on a 3D x-ray. Holistic and biological dentists can check for those things. They can also poke you with a little toothpick and see if there's bacteria in there. They send the toothpicks off and they see if there's bacteria in those places. So there's definitely ways to get checked for that. And I think it's really important. I have all my wisdom teeth. I needed my wisdom teeth. I had gaps in my teeth and my wisdom teeth pushed them all together. The teeth that I have. See, I can kind of act like I have teeth. I know, it's so crazy, right? So, but yeah, it's definitely something to look into. If you have root canals, you want to look into, making sure that the infections aren't big. And if you do have root canals, in the meantime, you can even take that Biocidin product. I'll put a link to it in the description box, along with my CBD and whatever, and my dentist. Yeah, it's very, very important to make sure you're on top of that. Your mouth is the beginning of your gut. So, and all bacteria in your mouth ends up going through, your gut is your whole insides. It's your mouth to your anus. I mean, that's your gut. That's everything that's inside of you. It harbors more bacteria than you consist of being a human. There's so much bacteria in you. So you want to make sure you're balanced, good and bad. Get sugar out of your diet. If you're getting chronic ear infections, UTIs, go on a healing keto diet. It really, sugar exacerbates everything, absolutely everything. But thanks for watching, guys. I will talk to you soon. I have a video I need to post soon, and I'm going to be on here much more because summer's coming, and I don't work in the summer. Yeah, so I'll be